Bienvenue, distingués invités et chers collègues. Je suis vraiment ravie de vous accueillir aujourd'hui à la Faculté de médecine au pavillon Roger Guindon. As we welcome back and meet new learners, this time of year is always a really exciting time, but is especially exciting right now. With so many brilliant new research ventures taking shape and the Advanced Medical Research Center quickly changing our skyline on this campus, this is truly an extraordinary moment in our history. Ce centre de recherche qui répond à de grandes ambitions transformera notre vaste écosystème de recherche et changera la donne pour tous nos formidables partenaires dans le domaine des sciences de la vie et de la santé. Nous attendons son ouverture avec beaucoup d'impatience. Il donnera un élan décisif aux efforts concertés que nous déployons pour répondre aux grands enjeux scientifiques du XXIe siècle. The research happening here at the University of Ottawa Faculty of Medicine is world-leading in countless areas, and the establishment of this next-generation facility will cement both our university and our city as premier destinations for biomedical science and discovery. Together, we are poised to do even more great things. Alors, un énorme merci à toutes celles et tous ceux qui se sont déplacés pour venir entendre cette annonce fort importante. Nous sommes ravis de vous avoir avec nous. J'aimerais maintenant céder la parole à Dr. Julie St-Pierre, la très estimée vice-rectrice à la recherche et l'innovation à l'Université d'Ottawa. C'est un grand privilège pour nous personnellement que la Dr. St-Pierre soit également professeure titulaire au département de biochimie, microbiologie et immunologie de notre faculté de médecine. She is a perfect example of the kind of world-class research talent in Ottawa that is making a profound difference in Canadians' lives through innovative scientific work. Veuillez accueillir Dr. Julie St-Pierre. Please welcome Julie St-Pierre.
Thank you, Melissa, for the kind introduction. Bonjour, bon matin, bienvenue à l'Université d'Ottawa. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi de vous accueillir ce matin. Welcome to Roger Guindon Hall. We are right next door to the beautiful Advanced Medical Research Center, the AMRC as we call it, set to open at the end of 2026. It's already becoming a visible sign of the University of Ottawa for its commitment to health innovation. Lorsque nous nous réunissons pour un événement comme celui-ci, nous avons coutume d'offrir une affirmation autochtone en appui aux efforts de réconciliation. We pay respect to the Algonquin people, who are the traditional guardians of this land. We acknowledge their long-standing relationship with this territory, which remains unceded. We pay respect to all Indigenous people in this region, from all nations across Canada, who call Ottawa home. Nous reconnaissons les gardiennes et gardiens des savoirs traditionnels de tous âges. Nous honorons aussi leurs dirigeantes et dirigeants d'hier, d'aujourd'hui et de demain, au courage indéniable. This morning, we are joined by leaders from government, hospital, industry, research center, and national organizations. Your presence shows the strengths of Ottawa's research and health leaders working together and the potential to transform research into better care. Before we move to today's announcement and remarks, I would like to recognize some of the distinguished guests who are with us. The Honorable Mr. Vid Fedeli, the Honorable Minister Nolan Quinn, the President of the University of Ottawa, Marie-Ève Sylvestre, le maire d'Ottawa, Marc Sutcliffe, le cofondateur et directeur exécutif de Capital BioVentures, Jeff Smirle, le président directeur général de l'Université Canada, Gabriel Miller. Merci à chacune et chacun d'entre vous d'être ici aujourd'hui. Votre présence témoigne de l'importance de cette annonce et de toute la collaboration qui la rend possible. We're here today to mark the strategic contribution of the Government of Ontario to the University of Ottawa Advanced Medical Research Center. To share more on this investment, it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium the Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, the Honorable Vid Fedeli.
Merci. Thank you very much. Bonjour à tous. Hello, everybody. This is another great announcement, and it's just wonderful to see so many people here in the room today. But it's really a pleasure to work alongside my Queen's Park colleague, Minister Nolan Quinn. It's really wonderful to see you yesterday at AMO and now again today to do this wonderful announcement. And I want you to know that Nolan, Minister Quinn, has been a real champion for the academic and research community. And we work well together because we have the academic side and we have the commercial side. And that's how we're going to continue to grow Ontario. To all of the University of Ottawa representatives who are here today, we thank you for your role. One of these I don't think works, so I'll stay on this side. For the role you've played in establishing this exciting and remarkable facility. Everybody that you wanted to introduce has been introduced, so I'll forego that and say that to the members of the life science community who are here today in Ottawa, we thank you for what we see as your absolutely unwavering drive and dedication to taking this sector to new heights, literally and physically new heights, and another pun, building up Ontario's Life Science Centre of Excellence. With growing global instability, it's critical that we leverage our strategic strengths to protect our economic interests here in Canada, and here specifically in Ontario, and to preserve the opportunities for job-creating investments right here at home. In 2025 budget, we unveiled our government's plan to unleash Ontario's economic potential, to keep costs down, and to protect Ontario workers, businesses, and their families, and all the jobs in the face of the U.S. tariffs and economic uncertainty. These actions will ensure that Ontario continues to be a competitive place to invest, create jobs, and do business. No matter where in the world we travel, we hear the same thing. We hear with the turmoil that's happening in the world. Russia's illegal war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, China and the disruption, this big hand that has disrupted our supply chains. We hear from every company and every country that in all of this turmoil, they look across the ocean and they see this beacon of hope. They see this light. It's a light at the end of the tunnel for them, and it's Ontario. And they all tell us that. It's unscripted, unprompted from them. But they tell us it's Ontario because we are, in this day and age, we're predictable. We're reliable. We're dependable. Almost boring in a really good way. Boring is good when it comes to no surprises for business. They all tell us that. And then they tell us one more thing. It's safe. It's safe for their employees. It's safe for their executives to come over. And as a result, last year alone, we landed 409 international companies invested in Ontario, invested $40 billion here, and hired 24,711 people. That's the result. Yeah. So we continue to make Ontario this beacon of hope for companies, and especially in the life science sector. We had a very hard pivot to life sciences. We announced it more than a year ago, and we've made good on that announcement. So the actions that you're going to hear about today and the actions that we've been taking, they're intended to drive innovation, to produce commercialization, and early adoption of Ontario-made products and services. We want things made here, and we want to buy those things here at our medical facilities. So in launching the second phase of our life sciences strategy, it's called Taking Life Sciences to the Next Level. Again, another architectural pun. We dedicated $15 million to Ontario Wet Labs program. And this program is focused on supporting very rapid construction and fit-out of new, much-needed wet lab spaces across Ontario's hospitals and post-secondary institutions. Investing in this infrastructure, we knew, would be a critical step in safeguarding Ontario's life science economy. It's not only intended to advance new research, but to retain the homegrown talent that you're producing here at places that we're here today. It's meant to increase access to innovative health solutions and attract additional investments. So that's why today we're very proud to announce that through the Ontario Wet Labs program, we are investing $5 million here at the Advanced Medical Research Centre. Good on you guys. Yeah, the applications here. This is our first of the $15 million. This is our first, and I dare say the largest out of the $15 million will be this $5 million announcement, with the potential to develop life-saving innovations such as vaccines, immunotherapies, and further the treatment of cancers and respiratory, infectious, and rare diseases. What did you call it? It was the from basic discovery to critical care. I like that. I'm stealing that and using that in our social media today. Basic discovery to clinical care. I love that one. I'm glad we talked earlier about that. But this particular lab will be an asset to our evolving ecosystem, in addition to supporting the incredible work that's already unfolding at the Ottawa Health Innovation Hub. So impressive today. That was just absolutely spectacular to see what you're doing here in Ottawa and the focus on life sciences. So once fully deployed, it's about the money too. Once fully deployed, this initiative is expected to generate $130 million in revenue and investments by the 8 or 9 companies that will be housed in the wet labs, and create more than 750 good-paying jobs in about 7 years from now is the deadline. So in conclusion, yeah, I like this guy. I swear to God, I didn't bring a whoop-whoop department. I didn't bring that, but it's great. It is? That's his job description? Whoop-whoop. This wet lab program is really an integral component of our life sciences strategy, and it's really critical to fill those gaps that we have. It's really, to me, all about accelerating commercialization, and I know that's the plan here. It's really these Ontario-made innovations. Get them in, get them to scale up, get them out, let somebody else in, and let those guys, grow. It is really important that we protect our position of leadership. We've landed $6 billion of life science business here in Ontario in the last 4 years. And that is really the great base that we need to grow from. There's 74,000 high-value life science jobs across Ontario. So it's no secret that life science is one of the key drivers of our economy. So again, I'll just say to everyone who's made this possible, the researchers, the entrepreneurs, the companies engaged in life science, everybody who is able to transform their innovative ideas to commercial successes, we say congratulations. Look forward to your groundbreaking at the end of 2026 and making more of our homegrown innovations stay right here. Thanks everybody.
Thank you so much, Minister Fedeli. Ontario's support is accelerating medical research from discovery to commercialization to deliver better care for patients, so we're very grateful. So I now invite to the podium the Minister of Colleges, Universities, Research Excellence and Security, the Honourable Nolan Quinn.
Just need to raise those microphones a little bit for myself. I'm probably the tallest one here. Thank you, Julie, for that kind introduction. And good morning, everyone. It's great to be back at the University of Ottawa, and thank you, President Sylvestre, for hosting us. As we face an ever-changing international economic landscape, our government is taking decisive action to ensure Ontario's economy remains competitive, resilient, and self-reliant. and homegrown research is critical to that effort. Every day in this province and right here at the University of Ottawa, groundbreaking discoveries are being made that drive our economy, improve people's lives, and protect Ontario. This spring, I was thrilled to announce a $45 million investment in the Canadian Biomanufacturing Cooperative right here at the University of Ottawa in partnership with McMaster University. The research taking place at the Canadian Biomanufacturing Cooperative is protecting Ontario from future pandemics while building a highly skilled biomanufacturing workforce and expanding access to clinical trials for new life-saving treatments. This investment was part of the over $2 billion investment our government has put into Ontario-made research since 2018. And with each project we've supported, we're not only enabling life-saving discoveries and advancing critical industries, but we're also supporting good-paying jobs for people in cities and towns right across all of Ontario. In fact, through these investments in research, we've trained more than 120,000 highly qualified personnel, brought billions of dollars of investments to Ontario, and helped create more than 400 new patents and launched almost 600 new rewarding careers across the province. Which brings us to today. As Minister Fedeli has already just shared, our government is proud to be investing $5 million to establish a wet lab right here at the University of Ottawa's Advanced Medical Research Centre and the Ottawa Health Innovation Hub. This wet lab will bring together top researchers and entrepreneurs to support startups in growing their businesses and provide the tools and resources needed to accelerate the commercialization of homegrown health innovations. Just this morning, I joined leaders from Ottawa businesses, colleges, universities, and research institutes to speak about the incredible progress that is being made when we work together to protect and drive Ontario's economy. And today's announcement is a perfect example of just that. New life-saving drugs, vaccines, medical technologies will be developed and brought to market right here at this wet lab. Innovation that is made in Ontario, by Ontario, and for Ontario. And that's great news for our people, our businesses, and our economy. In closing, I want to thank Minister Fedeli for his wonderful partnership in driving innovation and commercialization across our province, as well as the faculty, staff, and researchers here at the University of Ottawa for their incredible work. Today's investment is not only an investment in a state-of-the-art facility for the university, but an investment in a healthier, more prosperous Ontario. Thank you. I'll now call Julie back up to the podium.
Thank you, Minister Quinn. It's always a pleasure to welcome you at the University of Ottawa. We deeply value the province's support for research to deliver impact across Ontario for all our communities. Very grateful. J'ai maintenant le plaisir d'inviter, pour la première fois depuis son entrée en fonction le 1er juillet, la nouvelle rectrice et vice-chancelière de l'Université d'Ottawa, que nous félicitons chaleureusement pour sa nomination, Mme Marie-Ève Sylvestre.
Merci Julie. Monsieur le ministre Fedeli, Monsieur le ministre Quinn, Monsieur le maire Sutcliffe, Monsieur Gabriel Miller, président directeur général d'Université Canada, Madame Maura Campbell, présidente et chef de la direction de Ontario Bioscience Innovation Organization, Madame Sonia Shorey, présidente et chef de la direction de Invest Ottawa, Monsieur Jeff Smirle, cofondateur et directeur exécutif de Capital BioVentures. Chers membres de la communauté universitaire, Kwe, bonjour, good morning. Bienvenue à l'Université d'Ottawa. C'est un grand plaisir pour moi de me joindre à vous pour souligner cet investissement d'envergure pour le secteur de la santé, notre université, la région de la Capitale-Nationale et l'Ontario. L'Université d'Ottawa est l'une des 5 universités ayant la plus forte intensité de recherche au Canada et nous sommes des chefs de file mondial en innovation en santé. It is an honor to welcome Minister Fedeli, Minister Quinn, Mayor Sutcliffe, our hospital and research institution partners, and our community to celebrate this milestone. As the new President and Vice-Chancellor, this is only my second official announcement, and what a great way to start my term. We will soon be making many announcements like this in the Advanced Medical Research Centers, the AMRC, slated to open in less than 2 years. This is UOttawa's largest strategic investment and will be a transformative hub for our university, for our city, our country, a center where research, incubation, and acceleration intersect. The Ottawa Health Innovation Hub, Wet Labs, will be housed within the AMRC, bringing together scientists and entrepreneurs to work side by side, discovering, advancing, and commercializing new products and treatments. Today, I want to highlight the critical role of wet labs in the life science ecosystem. Many promising installations stall in what is sometimes referred to as the valley of death, the stage between discovery and attracting enough private investment to grow. At this point, companies must validate their science, meet regulatory requirements, and begin scaling, all of which demand specialized facilities. Wet labs provide that bridge precisely. By giving startups access to advanced infrastructure and share equipment, they lower costs, they extend runway, they allow companies to focus on proving concepts and securing investment. In doing so, Wet Labs helps life science venture accelerate commercializations. In the last 7 years only, UOttawa and its partner have spun out 35 life science companies, more than double the previous decades, and that includes successes like Verica Biotech, Yellowbird Diagnostics, Esphera Sync Bio, and Replica Analytics. Yet, too many of our spin-offs struggle to grow here because Ottawa lacks the wet labs and the wraparound support needed to turn discoveries into products. This important investment by the Ontario government will help close that gap, and we're extremely grateful for it. The $5 million contribution announced today will equip new wet labs facilities for early and emerging companies, complementing the AMRC and supporting biotech scale-up in this region. Together, we are strengthening Ottawa and Ontario's place as global hubs for life science, innovation, and excellence. À titre de directrice, je crois en une université ancrée dans sa communauté qui y contribue et qui en bénéficie. The AMRC and Ottawa Health Innovation Hub exemplify just that connection. Our objectives go beyond constructing a research facility. It is about supporting the best healthcare for Ottawa and Ontario residents, strengthening our economy, and creating community. It builds on an extraordinary local ecosystems that we have here with 5 affiliated hospitals and their research institutes, universities, and more than 130 health and biotech companies. By building on this strength, we can attract talented researchers and entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, we estimate that the Ottawa Health Innovation Hub will contribute $1 billion to Canada GDP by 2031, support 10,000 jobs, and train over 1,000 students and postdocs. Can I get a woo-hoo? Alors, merci au ministère du Développement économique, de la création d'emplois et du commerce pour la mise en œuvre du plan stratégique des sciences de la vie de l'Ontario et pour l'investissement d'aujourd'hui. Le nouveau programme de laboratoires expérimentaux de l'Ontario témoigne de l'engagement de la province à accélérer la croissance des sciences de la vie en s'attaquant à l'un de ses plus grands obstacles, l'accès à des espaces de laboratoire. Mieux encore, il contribue à positionner la région d'Ottawa comme un chef de file mondial dans ce domaine. Nous sommes impatients de continuer à faire progresser, voire à élargir cette initiative dans les années à venir. En terminant, je veux remercier chaleureusement la vice-rectrice à la recherche et à l'innovation, Julie St-Pierre, et toute son équipe. Oui, une félicitation. La doyenne Fergie aussi, ainsi que saluer, oui. Vraiment une équipe de leadership extraordinaire. Je vais aussi saluer la présence du président de la Fondation canadienne de l'innovation, Sylvain Charbonneau, qui a donné l'impulsion au projet. Et toute l'équipe des immeubles aussi qui est impliquée dans le projet. Donc, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Madame Sylvestre. Vous avez raison de souligner à quel point le Centre de recherche médicale de Pointe vient renforcer l'écosystème déjà solide que nous avons ici à l'Université d'Ottawa. Le centre va accueillir le personnel et des centaines de chercheuses et chercheurs de l'Université d'Ottawa, d'entreprises en démarrage et d'organisations partenaires. Ces nouveaux espaces de collaboration vont permettre d'accélérer la recherche médicale, les essais cliniques, l'innovation et la commercialisation ici à Ottawa. Notre prochain invité à prendre la parole joue justement un rôle central dans l'avenir de la ville pour bâtir un endroit où il fait bon y vivre, travailler et innover. As Mayor of Ottawa, he is a strong advocate for our city's growth, for attracting investment, and for building connections between our research, business, and community sectors. Please welcome the Mayor of Ottawa, His Worship Mark Sutcliffe.
Merci Julie. Bonjour tout le monde. C'est vraiment un plaisir d'être ici avec vous ce matin. This is really, really special. This is a very exciting announcement, and I want to start by thanking Minister Fedeli, not just for the announcement today, which is going to be transformative, and I'll talk more about in a moment, but just for everything you're doing at this really critical time for our province's economy, when we're facing so many challenges and threats. You and Premier Ford and Minister Quinn and all of your colleagues are working very, very hard with a real sense of urgency to strengthen Ontario's economy, to create more jobs in the province, to respond to these threats. So we're very grateful, Minister Quinn, Mr. Fedeli, for everything that you're doing on our behalf to make Ontario stronger. So thank you. And this really is a very, very exciting announcement. We have so much to be proud of in Ottawa right now. There's so much exciting collaboration and teamwork that's happening in our city, and this is another great example of it. And I want to thank all of you who are here today, all of you who have played a role in making this happen and who continue to advance the great work that's taking place here at the University of Ottawa. There are representatives here from federal and provincial research advocacy and granting organizations, Universities Canada, the Canada Foundation for Innovation, aussi l'équipe formidable de chercheurs, de spécialistes, d'étudiants et de partenaires de la faculté de médecine à l'Université d'Ottawa. Je tiens à féliciter encore une fois Marie-Ève. I really want to congratulate Marie-Ève on becoming President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ottawa. We have a great thing going on in Ottawa where there's terrific collaboration between all the post-secondary institutions, the private sector, the city, Invest Ottawa, the other agencies that are almost exactly 30 years ago. I was one of the founders of the Ottawa Business Journal, and at that time we were writing all these articles quoting Ken on the future of life sciences in our region and the potential industry. And look at all the progress we've achieved in the last 30 years. But this today, what I saw on that tour and what we're celebrating today with this very generous investment from the provincial government is really the culmination of many years of effort and collaboration and teamwork to have this center where there is going to be amazing work taking place. And it really is transformative. What's going on with the Advanced Medical Research Center, with the intersection between public and private partners, is truly transformative. Cet investissement dans l'Université d'Ottawa renforce le rôle de notre ville comme leader en sciences de la santé et de la vie. This investment strengthens our city's role as a leader in health and life sciences. It will give researchers and entrepreneurs the space they need to grow ideas that can change lives right here in Ottawa and around the world. This is what research and innovation is all about. It's also what teamwork and collaboration are all about. Ottawa is home to incredible talent in health and science, and this new investment in U Ottawa will help turn that talent into more innovation, more jobs, better health care for everyone.
It's great to see our local institutions continue to attract this kind of investment from the province and from other places, and from the private sector as well. So this is truly exciting and transformative for our city, and I want to congratulate everyone involved, especially the team at the University of Ottawa, and thank you again to Ministers Fedeli and Quinn for everything you have done to support our community on behalf of the Premier and the people of Ontario. Very exciting. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, M. Sutcliffe, d'avoir souligné comment des investissements comme celui-ci ne se limitent pas à renforcer la recherche. Ils stimulent la croissance économique et consolident la place d'Ottawa comme un pôle d'innovation en santé. A signature feature of the Advanced Medical Research Centre will be the Ottawa Health Innovation Hub, created to give companies the space, the tools, and the connections they need to grow. Within the AMRC, company will have access, and it's key, under one roof, to state-of-the-art core facility and the University of Ottawa new animal care and veterinary services. Grâce à des espaces et des équipements conçus pour les jeunes entreprises en sciences de la vie, le Centre offrira un environnement où les idées deviendront de nouvelles solutions pour les patients et les patientes et où la recherche se rapprochera de l'industrie, donnant aux entreprises un avantage concurrentiel pour accélérer la découverte et accélérer la commercialisation. A key partner helping bring Ottawa's life science ecosystem to life is Capital BioVentures, an Ottawa-based biotech accelerator that helps companies to commercialize and scale by providing funding, lab space, and expert guidance tailored to their needs. Please join me in welcoming the co-founder and executive director of Capital BioVentures, Mr. Jeff Smirle.
Merci, Julie. I'm not quite as tall as you, Minister Quinn, but I'll have to adjust a little bit here. Today is a very exciting day for the life sciences startup ecosystem here in Ottawa. At Capital BioVentures, we have a privileged relationship with our very early stage life sciences ventures, and we work closely with these companies through our accelerator programming. One thing I'm hearing consistently from our companies and our partners, and you might be surprised to hear it, but there's never been a better time to launch a life sciences company than right here in Ontario and right now. And that's not me politicking. The truth is there are current gaps in financing and venture capital, and there's a myriad of challenges facing us across our southern border. But the province of Ontario is leading in a meaningful way when it comes to the investment and commitment to growing our sector. That is in no small part thanks to the Ontario Life Sciences Strategy and the leadership of Ministers Fedeli, Minister Quinn, and Premier Ford. Programs like IP Ontario, the Life Sciences Innovation and Scale-Up Funds, and now the Ontario Wet Lab Funding Program tangibly demonstrate the prioritization of our sector by the province of Ontario. By investing in the most innovative companies making the next generation of drugs, diagnostics, and devices, these programs will improve the health of Ontarians. Our companies are also saying, and Mayor Sutcliffe spoke about this a little bit, that now is the time to dive in because our community is coming together through collaboration. We're breaking down silos and collaborating in ways that directly support our most promising life sciences ventures. President Sylvestre talked a little bit, mentioned Yellowbird Diagnostics, and I think they are a very strong example of collaboration here in Ottawa and across our ecosystem. Yellowbird was spun out of the world-class research from Dr. Adam Schuhandler here at the University of Ottawa, and they are developing early-stage diagnostics for debilitating diseases in the brain, heart, and kidneys. Yellowbird was supported in its earliest days at the University of Ottawa, the Ottawa Heart Institute, and essential programming at Invest Ottawa for startup and intellectual property supports. From that, they were able to secure angel investment from our local Capital Angel Network, and they were able to graduate into the more bespoke sector-specific programming offered through Capital BioVentures and our partners at the Ontario Bioscience Innovation Organization. Most recently, just in the spring, Yellowbird closed a seed financing round anchored by the Life Sciences Investment Fund run by the Ontario Centre of Innovation. Just to bring it full circle, Yellowbird is now manufacturing their product here in Ottawa, and they are working diligently to launch their first in-human clinical trial here in Ottawa in the coming months. Yellowbird is the perfect example of what can happen when an outstanding team doing outstanding science meets an ecosystem that is ready and able to support their continued growth and success right here where they were founded. And Yellowbird is just the beginning. Thanks to this investment in wet lab infrastructure by the province of Ontario and the generational investment made by the University of Ottawa in constructing the Advanced Medical Research Centre, dozens of companies, just like Yellowbird, can now see a path to commercial success, not in Boston, not in San Diego, not in the Bay Area, but right here in Ottawa and in Ontario. So on behalf of Capital BioVentures and the companies that we represent, thank you, Ministers Fedeli and Quinn, and the entire Ontario government for your investment in the Ottawa region today, and your continued investment in life sciences funding and infrastructure in the province. Thank you to Mayor Sutcliffe and Sonia Shorey from Invest Ottawa for your unwavering commitment to the Ottawa startup community. And thank you to the entire University of Ottawa team for your continued leadership and ambition in the development of the Ottawa life sciences sector. Finally, I'd also like to give a special shout out to Ken Lawless, the Senior Director for the Ottawa Health and Life Sciences Innovation Hub. Ken, you have been a critical champion for our sector for decades. And I'm confident in saying that this announcement and a host of other announcements just like it would not be possible without your vision and your tireless dedication to growing this sector here in Ottawa. Thank you for everything you've done, and I'm sure will continue to do for life sciences in Ottawa. Merci à tous.
Thank you, Mr. Smirle, for giving us a clear picture of how this funding will help turn the MRC into a launchpad for new health solutions. So today's announcement marks a new chapter for the Advanced Medical Research Centre and the Ottawa Health Innovation Hub. With world-class infrastructure, expert partners, and mentorship all under one roof, we're giving companies a competitive edge to accelerate discovery, commercialization, and ultimately improve patient care. Merci à nos invités, à nos partenaires et à toutes les personnes présentes aujourd'hui pour avoir contribué à cette étape importante. Votre engagement est essentiel pour transformer nos forces en résultats concrets aux soins de la santé. I would also like to take a moment to recognize the important work done behind the scene by my team, notably Blair Pataker, Ken Lawless, Sylvie Demers, and Emily Porter, as well as the minister's staff to make today's announcement possible. So our ministers may need to leave shortly, but before they do, I would like to ask them and our speaker to join me for a group photo. For the rest of you, please stay. Let's connect, enjoy coffee and some treat. Sorry? Would you be able to open the floor for media? Sorry? Media questions. Yes, yes. Yep. Thank you. For sure. Good. Merci beaucoup, and have a great rest of your day. Yeah. Yeah. Where is Jessica? Yes.
Did you? I have two questions for the Minister of University and Colleges. And you're saying City TV? City TV. Okay. City TV.
Right. So you please.
Maybe only have one bit. As we see in the States, Trump has an economic war against a lot of universities in the States, and they're suffocating with funding. How is that going to affect our academic connections in Canada?
No, that's a good question. Ultimately, the NIH does fund some research in Canada and across Ontario, but we're focusing on ensuring that the funding is higher than it ever has been. On top of our $5 billion that we invest into the system, in the last 18 months we've invested $2 billion, including $750 million for an extra 20,000 STEM seats to ensure that we have the graduates that are needed for the life sciences sector in this wet lab. So that's on top of the 70,000 graduates we graduate annually across our post-secondary institutions. So this is just going to help further our scientific research across the province.
So are you seeing changes in the way immigration from the States to Canada as the academics and the academic process gets up?
You know, the uncertainty in the U.S. is allowing our institutions to elevate themselves on the international markets, whether it's Harvard or Cambridge. We have world-class institutions right here in Ottawa and across the whole province, and ultimately it's a competitive market when it comes to bringing that talent of international students for the postgrad and doctorate programs, and ultimately we'll continue making those investments to ensure that our schools are ready to be able to continue graduating the world-class graduates that we produce here.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fedeli?
You know, you're going to be a big boy when you fill out.
As we see NAFTA to the tariffs in the States and the negotiation, and now coming into focus is the NAFTA 3 agreement. How is that affecting big investments in Ontario, St. Thomas, Alliston, and Sutcliffe?
Well, we were able to, as you know, land $46 billion in auto over the last 4 years. Some of it is affected by the tariff war. We're in a war with the United States. It's a tariff war and an economic war, and some of those investments are paused. We see great growth happening in St. Thomas. Volkswagen announced they began their hiring 2 weeks ago with great fanfare, so they're beginning the construction on the site, they're beginning the hiring of the people. So it's a bit of a mixed bag depending on how far advanced these companies are, but to the best of our knowledge and ability, we're going to continue with the $46 billion worth of investments, and stay tuned, there are still more coming in the auto sector. But let's not ignore the fact that this is creating a chill on business right across the world. I will tell you, I was at the EU, gave a speech to about 600 or 700 people last month. All they really wanted to know is how the heck could President Trump be treating his greatest economic ally like that? They were worried about themselves, so they wanted to get a better picture of, if he's treating you like this, what's he going to do to us? And the very next day they found out, because the very next day were the increased tariffs. So we're working in an uncertain world, and that's why earlier I talked about the fact that they talk about Ontario as this beacon of light. They really do. That's just a genuine quote from them. So we were able to land companies like Ferrero Rocher a couple of months ago, $465 million investment in Ontario, 500 people. We're able to land Hilton Foods, who are putting $150 million into a chicken and meat processing facility in Ontario. Where their only customer is Walmart, so it's a joint venture. We look at companies like Siemens from Germany, who came and put $130 million into an R&D facility. We look at Unilever, looked at 19 countries around the world where they wanted to put their AI, their first ever AI hub, and put it in Toronto after 19 companies. AstraZeneca, Roche, both hundreds of employees to be involved in the sector. So while we're seeing a chill, our pipeline is full. So it's a really interesting story from what we see around the world compared to what's happening here in Ontario. Long answer to a short question.
This will be the last question. Thank you.
That's my hint for make it a short answer, by the way, from Jennifer. I named you. Anytime. And embarrassed her. I love doing that. Good morning.
Just one
Yep.
question, and sorry, all these questions came in from Mark McAllister City News. Another one is, this is a little outside your reach, but the Protecting Ontario Fund, are those going to be just business loans, or what can we expect from those border workers and other residents directly?
Okay. Two things. So he's asking about the Protect Ontario, and the Protect Ontario financing program that was announced last week. So to begin with, we put in the last budget $30 billion of firepower in the Protect Ontario Fund. And that's for everybody in Ontario as it rolls out. So we began with $9 billion in tax deferrals, $2 billion in WSIB cash that's gone back out the door. We have the Ontario-made manufacturers tax credits up to 15% now, $3 million for any manufacturer that's investing in new equipment or buildings. It's up to $3 million, capped at $20 million on their expansion. Last week was $1 billion that we announced as financing support, and these are loans to the small and medium enterprises in the steel, aluminum, auto sectors. There's $4 billion tucked away, unannounced, waiting for the next phase. Let's see what happens. So for families, we're never going to leave anybody behind. We have $4 billion yet to deploy in whatever best way it will be for the businesses and the people of Ontario.
Does that mean loans, or does that mean grants, or does that...
It's $4 billion that there's no plan for, that there's a plan to distribute to businesses and families, but there's no regulations or guidelines around how. We need to see what the next phase is from the Trump tariffs to be able to best deploy that $4 billion. So right now we had $5 billion, we deployed $1 billion as loans. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And if I could have all the speakers for a group photo, that would be great. Thank you.